plan that we have in Pennsylvania is called Penny. And I was able to find an excellent plan and to try to help support my family and buy health care at the same time. I received subsidies that helped offset that cost. So it allowed me to maintain work, to maintain treatment, and start this difficult journey because I want to be there for my family. I want to be there for my wife, who is also suffering from chronic illnesses, and I want to see my daughters continue to grow up and lead their lives, and I want to be there. And I deserve health care. All of you deserve a health care plan. Now I'm faced with a very difficult situation. If these subsidies go away, I now have to think about, okay, I have a budget that I have down to a science. She's seen it. She's going to shake her head, okay? And do I look at compromising my food bill, which, by the way, because of inflation, and we're not going to mention who is responsible for that, but we see that inflation. We see food bills, we have utilities, we have a mortgage, okay, we have insurances, we have vehicles, just like every other middle American family, okay? And we're trying and we're struggling. My wife can't work, and so it's upon me to maintain that. When these subsidies go away, if they go away, I'm now faced with, okay, do I go out and try to maintain part-time work, contract work, to try to make this work? But my oncologists are screaming at me saying, Tony, you need to work less. You need to focus on your treatment. This is not going to work unless you give it a chance to work and get better, because cancer is going to catch up with you. And so I find myself in a catch-22 and thinking, I need this health care plan. I need these subsidies. If the rich and the Republicans can go out there and have money for tax cuts to buy another yacht, to go out in space, why can't I at least have health care to address my needs, my wife's needs, and maintain a lifestyle that we deserve as an American family? So my message is this. And I challenge all the Republicans and to you, Mr. Trump, if you are watching, if you do not do this for us and millions of Americans, if this disease takes me because I am unable to maintain my health coverage, my blood is going to be on your hands. It is my prayer that all of us will continue to strive to maintain health, that we might maintain our health coverage, our insurances, and maintain these subsidies so that we can continue to contribute to American society and become the citizens that we're striving to become. But we need this in our lives. We need these blessings to help us to grow as Americans so that we can achieve and continue to contribute to our societies and our communities and to our families who deserve us to be there with this health coverage. I thank you for your time. God bless you. Thank you.
Over the last 9 months, we've been fighting, and we've been in the trenches. And when the Republicans were advancing the one ugly bill, the Democrats stood strong, and they stood united with the American public, and they stood united with us. And so it's a great honor tonight to have champions among us and to remind ourselves that while we rail against the Republicans for abandoning us, we have to also celebrate those who have stuck their necks out, those that have hung in this fight, and those that are continuing to go in and negotiate and fight on our behalf. So it's a great privilege and honor to be on the stage tonight with a bunch of our champions, and I'm excited to turn it over to Representative Greg Casar from Texas. Thank you.
Buenas tardes. I'm Greg Casar. I'm proud to represent the heart of Texas, and these House Democrats are ready to fight for an America that workers can afford, an America that is not run by the billionaire class, an America where health care is a basic right. And these Democrats have been standing strong, so I want y'all to give it up for Congresswoman Tlaib, Congressman Pallone, Congressman Garcia, Congresswoman Barragan, Congresswoman Kelly, Congresswoman Randall, Congresswoman Del Bene, Congresswoman Ballant. Let's hear it, y'all. Come on. Congressman Foster, Congresswoman Sewell, Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz, Congressman Thompson. I think I got them all. I said Foster, but we can clap for Foster again. We're ready to fight to make sure that everyday people don't have to check their bank account on their way to the doctor. We're ready to make sure that our constituents don't have to figure out how to pay an extra $10,000 a year out of their budgets for health care just so billionaires can get another tax break. That's what this fight is about. People can talk about cloture and continuing resolutions. This ain't about that. This is about whether this government is for everyday people or for the billionaire class and their puppet politicians. Democrats want to keep your government open and keep your life affordable. Republicans want to shut it down to cut your health care. This should not be a partisan issue, because when I talk to everyday people in Texas and across America, people agree that it does not make sense for John Cornyn and Ted Cruz trying to make it so a family of four has to pay, and we've got the numbers, $9,381 more a year for health care in Texas. Is that right? No. Is that right? No. Republican Speaker Mike Johnson is fighting to make sure that families in his district have to pay $11,000 more a year in health care. Is that right? No. Is that right? No. So what are Republicans doing? Are they here in D.C. to explain their positions? No. Are they here in D.C. to make a deal? No. No. House Republicans have gone into the witness protection program. They're on vacation with their billionaire donors somewhere. There are more mentions of Donald Trump and the Epstein files than there are House Republicans here in D.C. today. So when people ask who's to blame for the shutdown, I think it is crystal clear. Crystal clear. Now I want to address the state of the Democratic Party a little bit, because not everybody wants to talk about it, but I think it's important to talk about it. There are, of course, millions of people that see how Trump is the most corrupt president in American history, how he's robbing people. But folks want to know who the Democrats are, what we're willing to stand for. And it's no secret that at times we've been divided. At times there's been questions about what we're willing to stand for. But thanks to your organizing, thanks to your pushing, for the first time in the Trump administration, House and Senate Democrats have stood united and have given this answer. This week, unlike Republicans, Democrats are willing to stand up, fight back, and make sure workers can afford their health care rather than making sure that Jeff Bezos can afford another jet. How about that? How about that for a Democratic Party? And I have one more word for y'all as organizers, and less for the cameras or the media or anything else. I know that things feel very discouraging right now. It can feel like we are helpless. And I know that even when we win this fight on health care, that we will not have stopped all of Donald Trump's wannabe authoritarian and dictator ambitions. We've got some real work to do. So when I feel helpless, when I've been having a hard time, I look to folks that have been in situations like ours. I just got back from visiting with leaders from all over the world at the United Nations, including with some Latin American leaders who in their own countries in the 70s and 80s dealt with military dictatorships with a much tighter grip on their governments than Trump has on ours. And their message to me and to all of us was very clear, which is this: just like in life, in this work, there are no shortcuts. There is no simple solution to this. You cannot just take the elevator to the place we all want to go. You've got to take the stairs, step by step by step, house meeting by house meeting, electoral campaign by electoral campaign, advocating, knocking on doors, talking to your neighbors, rally after rally after rally, step by step. until we bring along hundreds of millions of Americans who are sick and tired of this wannabe dictator and are ready to look out for one another. Because they're in it for the money and for the power. But we are in it for each other, and we're in it for the long haul, and they cannot take that away, not now, not ever. We are never giving up on this country because this is our home, this is our fight, and our vote, while it is for your health care, is also a vote of confidence in each and every one of you, because no politician is going to be here to save us. It's going to be you all staying united, talking to everyday people until the day is won, and we're going to get there. And nobody knows that better than our Speaker Emerita, Nancy Pelosi, who's just joined us. Let's hear it for Speaker Pelosi. Thank you guys so very, very much. And next up, we're hearing from Senator Merkley. Oh, sorry. Is it Merkley or Pelosi? I'm not allowed to pick up here. Also, we have been joined by one more new House Democrat, the first ever Latina elected from the state of Arizona. Adelita Grijalva is here with y'all. And a round of applause for Congresswoman Maxine Dexter, new member from Portland. Thank you guys so much.
Why don't you go ahead, Nancy? Nancy, why don't you go ahead? Okay, I'll jump in here. Oh, my goodness. The progressives from the House side are giving us the right story. Are you behind them? Now, I see a sign right over here that says, the rich get richer while we get sicker. Can you bring that sign on up here? I like that. I don't like what's happening. I'll tell you that. We've had 9 months of Trump, and it's made us sicker and poor. 9 months of being sicker and poor. Tariffs that are raising the cost of everything, like a sales tax across America. And other provisions that are, well, this destruction of health care. Well, I have a question for you. This is a philosophy the Republicans are putting forward, and the philosophy is families lose and billionaires win. Do you like that philosophy? No. How about hell no? Hell no, that's right. And it's like, well, we'll take child nutrition away. Why? To finance tax cuts for billionaires. Is that right? No. And we're going to destroy Medicaid, whenever my state, the Oregon Health Plan, to do tax cuts for billionaires. Is that right? No. And we're going to run up $30 trillion of debt over 30 years, compromising all the programs and the future for families. Is that right? No. So we're here to say fight matters. And in a normal year, a fight over policy matters. But we're not in a normal year. We're in an authoritarian takeover, a strongman state, and it's going to be up to us to carry the fight to save our republic. Are you in the fight? Yes. We heard what President Trump is doing with the generals. He said, here's the thing, there's an invasion within. What does he mean by an invasion within? He means those of us who disagree. Are we going to stand up for free speech? Yes. Free assembly? Yes. Freedom of the press? Yes. Damn right, because that's what it is to be an American. What Trump is doing is destroying our Constitution and the separation of powers. And we know that when this happens around the world, there's 3 things. The first is there's a rubber stamp Congress. How about we elect a Congress that's not a rubber stamp for President Trump? And the second thing is a Supreme Court that delivers more power to the executive than the Constitution provides for. How about we have a Supreme Court that honors the Constitution? Yes. And the third challenge is a president who is authoritarian impulse and wants to be a king. You know, our founders were very concerned about the president being a king. You know, the Supreme Court said, hey, we found this invisible ink in the Constitution. That invisible ink says the president is not accountable to the law. Anybody else find that invisible ink? I can't find it. And then you combine that with the power of pardon, and we have a whole executive branch, a whole entire executive branch above the law. We are in big trouble in this fight right now, health care over billionaires. We have a much better plan than families lose and billionaires win. And it's this: families thrive and billionaires pay their fair share. Let's restore health care. God bless you all. Thank you very much. Amy Klobuchar's up next. All right, Amy.
I will defer to the speaker. Okay, all right. I'm sorry, they told me Well, thank you, everyone. And we are here from the Senate, fresh off our vote, where we are standing up for the American people when it comes to health care. We are here today for one reason, and that is that Republicans have created a health care crisis in this country. And by the way, to our colleagues on the Republican side who we would love to have join us on our legislation, ironically, a week ago we had many more votes on ours than they did because they decided to go home, not to mention what they've done in the House. We're standing with the people. And when they say they need an off-ramp, I say to them, an off-ramp? My people are standing on a cliff right now. They're standing on a health insurance cliff as they look at what's happening. Kaiser report today, doubling of the premiums with the Affordable Care Act. There are moms trying to figure out if they're going to have cancer trials for their kids because of the NIH frozen funds. Time and time again, healthcare matters to the people of this country. And when I hear them say, oh, we'll look at this in December, we'll look at this in January. This is not a December thing. This is not a January thing. This is a now thing. This is a now thing. The other thing we know about them is they are going to rubber stamp what Donald Trump wants. So the reason that Leader Jeffries and that Leader Schumer were so focused on getting that meeting with Donald Trump is not because they wanted to see the gold in the Oval Office, okay? It was because they know that if they even make an agreement with their Republican leaders, he can just come in and change it the next day. So that is why it is so important that he lead. He prides himself in the art of the deal. And it's time for him to deal with us on behalf of the American people. So when you look at what he did after that meeting, that offending AI-created video that he put up, to me, I was like, let's just say bad sign, okay? He was not taking this seriously at all. But you know what? Those deepfake videos, people know what they are. But you know what doesn't lie? Their grocery bills don't lie. Their electricity bills don't lie. And their health care insurance bills don't lie. So that is why we are united on this. We are moving forward. They need to come to the table. They run the White House. They run the House. They run the Senate. And they need to keep this government open and work with us. Thank you. Sorry, no, Susan Delbene. Hero.
Thank you, Senator. Hi, everyone. I am Congresswoman Susan Delbene from the great state of Washington. And it is an honor to be here with all of you because the way we make a difference is by sharing our stories and using our voices and standing up for our communities. That's exactly what you are doing. Thank you. Across the country, Americans want to see us protect their health care. Across the country, people want to see the premium tax credits extended. Red districts, blue districts, people want health care, and it is important if we are going to be representatives of our districts, that's our title, that's our job, that we are all standing up for health care, for our communities. It is a sign, not a surprising sign, that we are here and House Republicans are nowhere to be seen at a time when they could be here working to make sure that we protect health care for the American people and keep the government open. What a concept. We could do that. But it takes leadership. It takes people coming together and prioritizing working families first, not billionaires. There is no one who has been a bigger champion for health care across this country. There is no one who has done a more important job to make sure that we are working in D.C. for the people across the country so that every family, every child, every member of our family can grow up healthy, can have great opportunity, can have access to affordable quality health care in their community. It has been tireless work on her part that has brought us to where we are today, and we're going to continue not to fight, not to go backward, but to go forward and build on that. Please join me in welcoming the incredible Speaker Emerita, Nancy Pelosi.
Thank you very much, Susan Del Bene. Susan is the chair of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. And you know, the antidote to all ailments is to win the election. Yeah. Win the election. Yes. Susan, thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Okay, a couple things. We recently celebrated this year we celebrated the 15th anniversary of the Affordable Care Act. When we passed it, we did so without one Republican vote. They do not believe in taking care of the American people. We did it with so many of the Democrats who were up here. They took a tough vote. And then when what's-his-name became president, he said President Obama was so much a part of this. He said, Obamacare sucks. Forgive me for quoting the leader of the free world. Obamacare sucks. I said, there's some things around who suck, but it's not Obamacare. It's not Obamacare. It doesn't suck, it cures. The only reason we could pass the bill in the first place and save the bill for scores of attempts of those to undermine it was not with our inside maneuvering, but with the outside mobilization, as you said. Know your power in this. When they went after us with his, sucks thing, we had, it's so appropriate for him. He's so distinguished and all that. So anyway, when we had this challenge in 18, when he was going to repeal and replace with I don't know what, but nothing. So when we had that, in order to save the affordable care, protect our care, all these organizations who are gathered, all of you here today, went out there and mobilized. The outside grassroots mobilization, it's everything. We had 10,000 events across the country where people told their stories. They didn't talk about provisions in the bill, and they didn't talk about politics, Democrats and Republicans. They talked about, my baby was born with a heart condition, with $2 million in charges, and again, no lifetime limits, all lifted, all the steps for that. Okay, my mother had breast cancer. My husband had a stroke. They told their stories. Nothing is more eloquent to the American people than the voices of their own constituents, and they heard these stories in their own districts. Nothing is more eloquent to a member of Congress than the voice of his or her own constituents, as I said. That's right. And so they told these stories, and they saved the Affordable Care Act with the help of Senator John McCain, and we're so grateful to him for that. So I say to you, know your power in this. I always say to members when they want to run, people want to run, I say, know your why. Yes. Know why you're running, because this is a rough terrain. And it has to be, you have to know why you're here so you can take the heat. My why was that 1 in 5 children in America lived in poverty, went to sleep hungry at night. I couldn't stand that as a mother of 5 myself. So what I just is I judge everybody. What are you doing for the children? Yes. What are they doing for the children except to hurt them if they are sick, and to hurt their families that they live in, and to help their grandparents even? Because Medicaid covers much of the cost in our country for long-term health care for seniors. So this is about the children and their families. It's about the Republicans. Imagine, they're religious people, they're so religious. I say you pray in church on Sunday and you pray on people all the rest of the week. All the rest of the week. All the rest of the week that you would take food out of the mouths of babies. Yeah, 2 days ago, or was it yesterday, was the 48th anniversary of our food programs. 48th anniversary, Jimmy Carter signed the bill. They're taking food out of the mouths of babies and putting it to billionaires' checks for stuff they don't even need. That's sinful. That's shameful. That's preying on people during the week as they hypocritically say they're religious people. So anyway, a lot of the members in the Congress who voted for this bill had to suffer through the misrepresentations of it. Almost 80 times they voted to take it down, and then when Huji became president in his foul language, he got a lesson. And the closing, I'll end the way I began. We won that election 2018. We won 40 seats, 31 of them in Trump districts. And you know what our message was? Protect our care. Protect our care, protect our care. So are we ready to protect our care, win the election? Thank you all for your outside mobilization. Thank you to the organizers. Thank you to our members. Thank you all. Now it's my pleasure to yield to... Oh, Catherine, I thought I was going to yield to Pete. Okay, our leadership has been so remarkable in all of this. Hakeem Jeffries, who will soon be Speaker Jeffries in just a short period of time. Our chair of our caucus, Pete Aguilar of California. And my pleasure to bring to the podium and yield to the distinguished House Democratic Whip, Catherine Clark.
All right. You are a beautiful sight. Oh, and you are showing exactly who has the power in this fight. The people have the power. So let's say it a little louder, just in case our friends decide to come to D.C. and want to hear us. So who has the power? We do. Who has the power? We do. Who has the power? We do. You bet. The people have the power, and I don't have to tell you how much is at stake right now. And I know each and every one of you has a story, something that is fueling you to be here, to stand up, to speak out. And I am hearing these stories every single day. And we are so grateful to the storytellers who are here, to the ones we have heard from in our home communities and in testimony here today. And as a mom of 3, I have to tell you, it's the parents whose stories really get to me. Working parents who don't know what they're going to do if the Republicans dismantle their health care. Imagine being a billionaire. Think about that for a second. One of the richest people to ever live, and telling millions of parents, you don't deserve to take your kid to the doctor. Imagine sitting on a fortune built by working people and telling them you don't deserve peace of mind. Imagine having multiple yachts and homes and telling pregnant women you don't deserve maternity care. It is a shame, and it's a kind of moral bankruptcy that we're up against. That's the kind of petty greed that we are dealing with. And do you know what it costs to keep a child on Medicaid? $10 a day. $10 a day, that's it. So should we be handing that $10 to Elon Musk? No. Do you want to give it to Jeff Bezos? No. Do you want to put that $10 towards creating the first ever trillionaire? No. No, we don't. We want to give that $10 to a newborn and build a healthy, happy future. That's what we want to do. That's the investment we want to make. And we're here to say, let's invest more in our future. Let's invest more in children and people who need health care. And how about we have billionaires actually pay their taxes in full? And how about we stop rewarding, through our taxation system, the hoarded wealth of a very few? How about we start rewarding the hard work of the many? We are not going to back down from this fight, and we are in this with you because our lives are on the line, our children's lives are on the line, and we know this: when the people fight, we win. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Whip Clark. Let's give Catherine Clark a round of applause. You're fine. She is always fighting for us, and on behalf of the Democratic colleagues, I'm chair of the Democratic Caucus. We are so pleased to be here with all of the organizers and all of the volunteers who helped put this together. Thank you so much. We are in debt to you for keeping this issue front and center. Every Democrat up on this stage feels a deep sense of obligation and responsibility to look out for the health care of the American public. Members are coming in and out, but I did want to call attention. Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Bill Foster, in addition to Nancy Pelosi, they voted for the Affordable Care Act, right? Every member up here has a responsibility to defend the Affordable Care Act, and that's what we have been doing for our tenure in Congress. There's no doubt about it that we are in a full-blown healthcare crisis in this country because of Donald Trump and his Republican henchmen. Their first major bill that we all talked about, and we told the American public what it would do, but it produced the largest cut to health care in American history. Just let that sink in. And we told them that this was going to be shameful. We told them that this was wrong. We told them that this was going to hurt people, and they didn't listen. They didn't listen to you. They didn't listen to your stories. They didn't listen to us. Instead of protecting your health care, they're gutting it. Instead of looking out for your well-being first, they're putting their rich and powerful friends ahead of us. Instead of lowering your costs, they're raising them. Instead of funding government, they're on vacation right now. Well, Democrats won't stand for that. That's why we're doing everything in our power to prevent Republicans from doing even more damage by engaging in their dirty government funding bill. While Republicans are missing in action, Democrats are here. We are working, and we are looking out for you and the safety of your kids and your communities. And we know the real consequences of this moment. We know the inaction of this moment, and we are so thankful to be in this fight. We are so thankful to have your back and to put healthcare front and center of this fight for the American public. We know that coverage will lapse, hospitals will close, premiums will skyrocket if we don't do anything. And that's why all of us are here. That's why all of us are speaking with one voice to protect our communities. You deserve better, and that's what Democrats are fighting tooth and nail for. Thank you so much for having me, and I'll turn it back over to Kristen.
Thank you so much. Can we get one more giant round of applause and thank you to our Democratic champions, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're getting our act together up here. We're welcoming some other brave women and storytellers because, as everyone has said, this is personal. This is personal for all of us. And right now, while this Republican trifecta further enriches the billionaire class, most Americans have less than $600 in their checking account. If the Republicans allow the subsidies to expire, we know this further drives up our costs. Medical debt is one of the most serious and scary things a family can go through. And for many of us, including myself, this is personal. 20 years ago, as a single mom, it was one $886 dental bill that sent my family into a downward spiral. First, the lights were turned out, then my car was repossessed, and ultimately we lost our home to foreclosure. And I don't say this because I want pity. I say this because those in power often make us feel ashamed. They make us feel that it is our fault. When the truth is the system is so rigged for working people right now that it is not our fault. And so tonight we're going to shed some light on what working families and real people are enduring in this country. So give a round welcome to Kara, who comes to us from Milwaukee, my home state, and other brave women, and we're going to share some more stories. So thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you for having me. My name is Kara Pitt DeAndrea. I run a mid-sized, small, nonprofit child development center in the city of Milwaukee. Thank you. Yeah, Wisconsin. I'm here with Main Street Alliance, who is huge advocacy for supporting small businesses like the one that I run. And if any of you know what it takes to run a small business, you know it is not for the faint of heart. And we make decisions every day to serve our community in ways that big businesses cannot reach, will not reach, are simply unable to by the rules that they are bound to. Serving in the nonprofit industry, we make choices. And part of my choice and my ability to do that is that I have the Affordable Care Act. My health care is through the marketplace. And I've been able to bridge the gap of perhaps the private sector would provide and commit myself to my community because of the ACA. And it feels a little bit like we should stop calling them Republicans and Democrats and start calling it the party who cares for the majority of the Americans and the party that does not care about us. And when we start calling it by the real names like that, the deflection of the Republican Party becomes more transparent. The small businesses, we are the vital part of the ecosystem, right? We are the ones that show up when no one else can. And if, from daycare perspective, my staff relies on the ACA. And daycare is not for the faint of heart. Early childhood development is a science. It is the neuroscience of your children developing from birth to 3, 70% of the brain. And we have the in-home centers in Wisconsin and across the country who are dedicated care providers who get their health care from the ACA. And they show up for you. And healthy daycares make healthy parents, and healthy parents make great employees, and great employees make America a lot of money. And so if we break it down, the interest should be bipartisan. It should be bipartisan. If they want a successful America, they invest in us, in each and every one of us, and we show up every day because we love what we do, even when it is hard. Thank you for having me today. Big thanks to the Democrats who care about the majority of the Americans, who are doing the fight. Thank you all so much, and thank you, Main Street Alliance.
Good evening. My name is Patricia Watson, but everyone calls me Trish. I'm a proud black mama, a daughter of Maryland, a fierce social advocate, a cutie patootie, and a woman who nearly gave 20 years of my life to serving the state as a psychiatrist. That same work left me permanently disabled, and let me be clear, I'm alive today for one reason: Planned Parenthood, Medicaid. And I'm going to pause and let that sink in, because I'm not just a number. I'm a daughter. I'm a mother. I'm someone's sister. I'm your cousin. I'm your neighbor. I'm your friend. I'm your advocate. We're in a healthcare crisis, a crisis created by President Trump and his backers in Congress. And because of their choices, people like me, who depend on Medicare, are being blocked from essential health care. That means Planned Parenthood health centers, the very places keeping us alive, are under attack. I fought cervical cancer, breast cancer, lymphatic cancer that spread to my jaw, and I had to get part of my jaw removed. And right now, I'm waiting on more tests to find out if I'm facing stage 2 liver disease or if my cancer has metastasized again. And every single time, Planned Parenthood has stood in that gap. They didn't just treat me, they cared for me, they cared for my sons. They're connected to my life-saving support. They connected me to Susan G. Komen Foundation, who honored me as a Maryland Strength honoree. Because of that care, and because Medicare covered me, I've been able to watch my oldest son, Mikhail, graduate from RIT with honors. Be inducted into Maryland's top 100 women. Hug my youngest son after picking him up from his second year at UMES. And most of all, be here today to keep fighting, keep living, and keep mothering. And that's what this is about: values and why it matters. Dignity, access, family, and survival. People like me don't have the luxury of waiting on politics or red tape. We don't need debates. We need care. We need care. We don't need cruelty. We need action. I'm standing here today because Medicaid and Planned Parenthood gave me the chance to keep raising my sons to be amazing men, to keep serving my community and keep living. And that's not charity, that's humanity. That's survival. And let's be real, this is not about parties, it's about people. Protect Medicaid, protect affordable health care, because without it, people like me don't just get left behind, we die. Thank you.
In 2013, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and that entire treatment would have cost $150,000, but I paid $3,000. That's because I had health insurance. And as a freelance artist and writer, I don't have coverage through a job, so I have to pay for it out of my pocket. And the year that I had cancer, the insurance, I was paying about a little less than $400 a month. And that's kind of a lot of money for a freelancer if anybody out here works for themselves. But it was the responsible thing to do. Having health insurance meant that I could get regular checkups, tests, specialists. It led to the early detection of my cancer. It's the reason why I get to stand here today with Trisha. It's the reason why I get follow-up care so that I can keep standing here and keep advocating. So since then, every year the premium goes up, and it's about $1,100 right now. And I expect it to go up again, of course. But the federal, but the tax credit helps to keep it lower. That's what makes it even possible for me to keep paying for it. It's pretty high, but it's absolutely necessary to protect my health, especially given my history. So last month, I got this email from the DC Health Insurance Marketplace, and it said, your tax credits are ending, and I totally freaked out. I started kind of figuring out, like, what does this mean? I mean, based on the past, it means that probably I'm going to be paying double what I have been paying for healthcare. That means I'm going to be paying 20% of my income, 1/5 of my income. And that just blows my mind. I haven't quite figured out how that's going to even happen. So healthcare has always been a priority for me, even when paying for it meant sacrifice, and it's going to be a sacrifice. It's worth paying for because it means that I don't have to wait around until it's too late to find out about a disease that could have been cured if it had been detected soon enough. It means I don't have to forego my entire life savings and my home because of medical bills. I don't have to forego life-saving treatment because I can't afford it. And that's all about to change. I'm one of the people who's just above the 400% of the federal poverty line who's going to be most affected by this. And it sounds like a lot, 400%, but it barely puts me just barely into the middle class. Trust me, like, it's not that much money. And I'm going to be like I said, I'm going to be one of the people who's going to be most hurt when Republicans take away the tax credit. Without the tax credit, I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford health care, the kind of health care that once saved my life and could save my life again. As a freelancer, I already work way more than 40 hours a week. I can't actually take on any more work. I am maxed out. And so I am outraged that Republicans have driven up the health care costs. They're taking away our tax credits. Why? To put more money in billionaires' pockets. It's for their billionaire friends and donors and buddies. It's greed. It's greed. Greed. Greed is not good. Everything costs too much. Everything is getting more expensive every day. Trump and the Republicans are making it worse every day. Not just with this, but they're making it worse with their policies, and they're not doing anything to make our lives better. And I'm not just speaking for me and my Democratic friends. I'm speaking for everyone. It does not matter what your political party is. This will affect you. This will make your life worse. So I urge policymakers, do not compromise. Do not compromise on cutting anything, and don't wait another minute we have to fight back. As our Congress people said earlier, we must fight back. We cannot compromise now. We cannot compromise for a year from now. We can never compromise, because this is about all of us together and about our basic human right of having health care. I don't want to have to keep worrying about this every time somebody wants more money for their friends or they want more power for them. So thank you so much for letting me be here today, and let's keep fight. Yes, fight back. Thank you.
All right, thank you, thank you. Give these women all the love. All the love. All right, we have more special guests who are walking down from doing the people's work to stand in solidarity with us. It's my honor and privilege to introduce a congresswoman who's been fighting the tax fight for a long time. Representative Jayapal, please come to the stage.
Hello, everybody. Fight back. Are you ready to fight back? Are you ready to fight forward for our health care? Are you ready to say cancel the cuts? Save our health care. Lower our costs. That is what we're fighting for, my friends, and it is amazing to be here to say that Democrats, House Democrats, are all right here because we are doing our job. Meanwhile, these Republicans, it's like playing Where's Waldo? Where the hell are they? I don't know. They're all over the country having fancy fundraisers, and the government is going to shut down in just a few hours. It is unconscionable that they passed this partisan spending bill and then left. And it tells you what they think about their respect for the American people and your ability to have the health care that you deserve. It tells you that they don't think they need to negotiate. Well, let me tell you something. If you are governing, and if you have the House, the Senate, and the White House, and you have power of all three of them, then you have to govern. And you got to pass a bill that gets Democrats on board. And the only way that our House Democrats and our Senate Democrats are going to get on board is if we cancel the cuts, if we save health care, and if we lower costs. Now, they're trying to do the same thing they always do. They're trying to say, oh, this is all about those immigrants. Well, let me tell you something. It's not immigrants that stole your health care and cut your Medicaid. It was the billionaire tax cuts that did that. It's not immigrants who are shutting down rural hospitals across the country. It's the big bad betrayal bill that did that. It's not immigrants who are saying don't extend the health care premiums, the subsidies. It's those billionaires who want every dollar to go to them instead of to you. And so we have to be really clear about this fight. We have the strength of the people. The people are on our side. The people know that they deserve health care. The American people know that a mom who's taking care of her 2 kids on the autism spectrum, or a senior in a nursing home that desperately needs their health care, or any person who is fighting cancer across this country, this is not ideological. This is not partisan. This is not based on where you live. It is something that every American deserves, and House Democrats, Senate Democrats are going to stand up and fight back and make sure that we deliver for you. And we have the incredible honor and privilege of being led by somebody in the House Democratic Caucus who has been showing us what it means to keep Democrats united, who has been showing us what it means to stand up and fight for the affordability of people and not for the billionaires. We have somebody who leads the House Democratic Caucus who has kept us united on every vote, including this last one when we said, no, hell no, we're not voting for your partisan spending bill. So please join me in welcoming our House Democratic leader, Hakeem Jeffries.
Thank you, Pramila, an amazing champion. Are you here to fight for the health care of the American people? Are you here to win? What an honor and a privilege to be here with all of you. House Democrats are here in the Capitol reporting for duty. Republicans are on vacation. We're here because we understand this is an important fight to win. We're prepared at all times to try to find a bipartisan path forward to fund the government, but it has to be funded in a manner consistent with our values and in a manner that lifts up the quality of life of the American people, that doesn't hurt everyday Americans. And so our position has been clear. We will not support a partisan Republican spending bill that continues to gut the health care of the American people. Not now, not ever. Now, yesterday, Chuck Schumer and I met in the Oval Office with the President and Republican leadership. In that meeting, it was extraordinary. Some of the Republican leaders said health care is extraneous. We said, no, health care is not extraneous. Health care is central to the quality of life of the American people, and that's why we're fighting. Now, after that meeting, Donald Trump posted this AI video featuring myself and Chuck Schumer. It was a fake video. It was a disgusting video. It was a racist video. It was unbecoming of anyone purporting to be the President of the United States of America. But y'all, I ain't scared. I'm from Brooklyn. We get down like Shirley Chisholm, unbought and unbossed at all times. So, Mr. President, allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm the House Democratic leader. The House Democratic caucus is 217 members strong. We're part of a separate and co-equal branch of government. That means we don't work for Donald Trump. We don't work for J.D. Vance. We don't work for billionaire donors. We work for all of you, the American people. And that's why we're here together, House Democrats, Senate Democrats, standing together with all of you. Your values are our values, and our values are your values. And together, we're fighting to cancel the cuts, lower the costs, and save health care. We're fighting together for your Medicaid. Are we fighting for your Medicaid? We're fighting together for your Medicaid. We're fighting together for your Medicare. We're fighting together for the Affordable Care Act. We're fighting to protect your hospitals. We're fighting to protect our nursing homes. We're fighting to protect our community-based health clinics. And we're fighting for the principle that in America, the wealthiest country in the history of the world, health care can't simply be a privilege. For the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-connected. We're fighting for the principle that in this country, health care must be a right available to every single American at all times. At all times. At all times. And so this fight won't be easy, but I trust the resiliency of the American people. The heart, the soul, the spirit, and the strength of the American people. We stand on the shoulders of so many giants, many who we've served with, like the great John Lewis, who would always tell us in times of challenge, stand up, show up, speak up for what we know is right. and go out there and get into necessary trouble and good trouble. I said good trouble. I said good trouble. Are you ready for us to hold the line? Are you ready for us to stand strong? Are you ready for us to win this fight? Save your health care, lower costs, make sure we protect the things that matter for you and your families? Are you ready for us to put families and health care over billionaires? Well, I'm here to tell you we're in this fight until we win this fight. God bless each and every one of you.
We want health care. What do we want? When do we want it? I said, what do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? If we don't get it, if we don't get it. Hadn't planned on doing that, but my brother Hakeem got me fired up tonight. Jumbo Bwana, everyone, I invite you to take notice of the solid ground beneath your feet and briefly acknowledge the original stewards and custodians of this land, Washington, D.C., the Anacostan, Pamunkey, and Piscataway Indians, and honor them and state that it's past time that we begin to share and care for this land with all native tribes. I am Fari Gamina Tumpe, a very proud Washingtonian born right here on Capitol Hill, still living in the home where I was born and raised, building community all my life, continuing the legacy of my grandmother and mother, helping to raise children in the community, being the child care workforce behind the workforce, teaching performing arts, and helping to feed the hungry. I worked hard for decades, and now with several autoimmune diseases, I too rely on SSI disability, Medicaid, and Medicare. I am also a two-gen caregiver of 3 differently abled geniuses that have diagnoses that range from autism to severe social and emotional learning disorders, because my youngest child has schizophrenia, and they were born with many developmental delays, and for the past 2 decades, I've dedicated my life to raising them. But like all of my sisters here and like all of you, I am a healthcare hero. But I shouldn't have to be a healthcare hero in the United States of America. The very Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke of the civil rights movement and referred to it as the urgency of now. The urgency of now. To have Congress restore health care and prevent looming Affordable Health Care Act premium spikes and the expiration of said act at the end of 2025, the urgency is now. Stop snatching the lifeline of Medicaid from 22 million Americans and possibly shutting down 465 rural hospitals in America. Stop demanding prior authorizations for our life-saving medications. The urgency is now. Ending pro-billionaire agenda to the tune of $1 trillion a year in tax cuts the urgency is now. There are only 800 billionaires in the United States of America, yet 340 million will suffer at the hands of Republicans in Congress. This big, beautiful bill is dismantling our democracy, and our most reverent prayer is for a caring economy, and the people will move its money and its votes until we live in a caring economy. Make no mistake about it. The power of the people is stronger than the people in power. And we will continue to stage global economic blackouts and global protests against the Trump administration if Republicans don't fund health care. We will choke the flow of money and remind them of the truth that the people are the economy. And we, the people, are in power, and we will prove this by our economic resistance. Health care is a human right and not a privilege. Republicans, we need you to stand up to Trump's authoritarianism. This administration has literally waged a war against its own people. And it's time we end this dystopian nightmare where there is great suffering and injustice. Republicans, I invite you to close with a future-oriented question. What is the story you hope people will tell about you when you're gone? The story I hope people will tell is how I lived to be one with the will of God and the will of the American people, and how I pushed people to be their best in spite of their circumstances. My fellow Americans, don't worry and don't fear. Let us not forget that true retribution is, was, and will always be solely in God's hands and in God's time. And if God chooses to make us wait a bit for that day of retribution, it is because he wants that day to taste that much sweeter. We all need a moment of life that supersedes politics and promotes healthy living and liberty for all Americans. My brothers and sisters, the urgency is now.
Hi, everybody. Are we still ready for the fight? And the Senate just rejected the vote. I want to make sure this is right. 55. What's somebody? Anyway. It failed. It failed. To those that were worried. Why are we here? We're here. You've been hearing all the stories. I have all year. I was at the University of Michigan, and I got in the elevator to go to my doctor, and a mother was there with her child, and she burst into tears. And she said, "You have to promise me I will still be able to bring my child here. He will die if my Medicaid is taken away." And I promised her she would, and then I called the head of the hospital and said, "I'll pay the bills if we have to. We cannot let children be denied health insurance or a chance for life. I've been at seniors, and seniors come up to me crying. My husband is in a long-term care facility. If I lose Medicaid, where will he live? Or does he just die? And now, here's the reality, as you've heard from so many, that insurance premiums are starting to go out now for 26. People get their information October 1st. The exchange opens November 1st. The tax credit expires at the end of December. A couple in my district, Michigan, 60 years old, both of them work. If they lose their affordable tax care credit, their premium is going to go up $11,250. That is a 164% increase in what their health care insurance is going to be. Well, what the decisions they have to make? You know, after we passed the bill, I won't use the word I want to use. We were in all night. We seemed to do all of our work in the middle of the night. And I got a call. My mother was being rushed to the hospital by ambulance. She's okay. But I sat in the emergency room that whole weekend. She needed to be admitted, and there was no bed. And I sat there with many other patients that I got to know and their families. And all I could think about is our healthcare system is broken now, and we're making it worse. My church, my nuns taught me that our responsibility is that when you are sick, you took care of me. If you are sick in this country, you should be able to go to the doctor, get the care you need, and afford your medicine. And that's why we are here. Because we are in a crisis. People are going to lose their health care insurance. And we're here. The Democrats are here. We want to sit at the table. We want a bipartisan solution. You can't do it if you're not here. But at some point, it is worth the fight. And for me, telling little children they're not going to die because they've got a right to be able to go to the doctor is worth taking a stand.
Muchísimas gracias, muchísimas gracias. I'm Teresa Legia Fernandez from the beautiful state of New Mexico, but I am also the chair of the Democratic Women's Caucus, and we are 96 women strong, and we need Speaker Johnson to swear in Adelita Grijalva so we can have 97 women fighting for you. Because we will fight for you, because women have had it hard. Women have had it hard. Across the country, women cannot get their health care or their cervical pap exams because they are shutting down Planned Parenthood. Across the country, women are worried about what to do with their children because there are not enough workers for child care, and there are no longer the women needed to care for our elderly in our nursing homes, and they are cutting Medicaid, and they are kicking people out of nursing homes with their bad bills and laws. And it is shameful. We need to use that word more often, shame, because what they are doing by ignoring the plight of women and families and people across this country who need health care is shameful. It is shameful, and we will continue to call it out. I need to tell you, I am a proud Latina, and I tell you, the most worst insult you can give anybody is that they are sin vergüenzas. They are without shame. And without shame means you have no morals and no values, and you do not stand up for your constituents. We are here standing up for our constituents. We are standing with you. We are standing with you because you're the ones who have the power. You're the ones who have the voice. You're the ones who show up, and we are here showing up with you because we are in the fight, and we will win the fight, as Leader Jeffrey said. And I need to tell you, you know, I'm a mom, and there are many moms and dads out there, and when your family is in crisis, you stick with the family until you solve that crisis. Right now, we have a health care crisis, and Republicans have not stuck with their family. They did not show up to work today, did they? They did not show up, but Democrats showed up because we're going to keep showing up. And a question keeps getting asked. But who will they blame for the shutdown? Now, I need to tell you, who will they blame for the shutdown? Well, guess who has the White House, the Senate, and the House? Republicans do. But that's not the question to ask. The question to ask, well, who will suffer the pain from the shutdown? Who will suffer the pain from taking away our health care? Who will suffer the pain from higher health insurance premiums? I need to tell you about Jen. Jen wrote to my office, and I just finished talking to her about 20 minutes before I got here. Jen has health insurance through Affordable Care Act. Jen now pays $605 for her family to receive health insurance. $2,300 a month. From $605 to $2,300 a month. She has a pre-existing condition, and Republicans would condemn her to have no health care under their plan. And Democrats are saying, hell no, we will never vote for your plan to kick Americans off of health care. We are standing here united, and I am going to now recognize one of my dear friends, Becca Ballant, the co-chair of the Equality Caucus.
I'm gonna come out to the side here because I'm too short to stand behind this. I may be tiny, but I'm mighty. I'm a scrappy little dyke from Vermont, and I don't take any crap. So look, you've been out here for a long time, and you know the stakes. I don't have to tell you. You understand that Republicans are trying to decimate Medicaid, Medicare. These asinine tariffs are going to drive up the costs of our prescription drugs. I represent a rural district. Rural hospitals are going to close. It's going to raise premiums for everybody. And we're out here because Democrats always protect health care. That's what we do. So I appreciate that you have a thank you, Democrats, because we're the ones that for 15 years they have been trying to dismantle the Affordable Care Act. And every single time, Republicans, and now Donald Trump saying we're going to replace it with something better, they never have a plan. But every single time, Democrats will be here protecting your health care. So look, I want to focus on you. Because what I hear from my constituents, what I hear from my activists, is that people are tired. And they're anxious. And they're weary. And they feel like, how can I possibly keep at it? It's only 9 months in. How are we going to keep at it? And this is where, well, if only we had the votes. Here's the deal. We have to draw strength and energy from each other. We have to. And I want you to remember, don't ever let anyone tell you that only extraordinary people do extraordinary things. It's ordinary people that do astonishing things every single day. And that's what you're all doing in this fight. So thank you so much for being out here. We are so grateful for you pushing for us to do our best work. Love you all. Thank you for staying to the bitter end. We are standing with all of you. And now, one of the co-chairs of the Equality Caucus with me, Sarah McBride, representative from Delaware.
Thank you, Becca. And thank you to everyone who has done today what Republicans in the House of Representatives failed to do today, and that is to show up for this country. Thank you for coming out this evening, because we are here for a righteous cause. We are here for a righteous fight. And I have never been prouder to be a member of the House Democratic Caucus, because House Democrats are here ready to hold the line in defense of working people, in defense of healthcare, in defense of the rule of law, in defense of all of our constituents. Now, you've been here through a fairly beautiful sunset, but the sun has set on Capitol Hill, and we are now less than 5 hours away from a government shutdown that is the byproduct of Republicans in power. We are here because of one man's insecure and desperate attempt to consolidate power at all costs. We are here because Republicans in Congress, time and time again, are yes men to this authoritarian wannabe. We are here because time and time again, Republicans in Congress will do the bidding of Donald Trump. And we are here because of an unholy alliance between congressional Republicans, Donald Trump, and the billionaires who fueled their campaigns and who facilitated their absolute abuse of power. Now, this past July, Republicans in Congress, over the opposition of every single Democrat, passed a massive tax break for billionaires in an effort to pay off their supporters. The billionaires said, you give us these tax breaks, we'll fund your campaigns, and we'll allow you to destroy our democracy. And in order to just partially pay for it, congressional Republicans and Donald Trump raided the health care of the American people. They created a healthcare crisis. They inserted a ticking time bomb into the center of the American healthcare system. A ticking time bomb that, as it goes off, will result in the largest cut to Medicaid in American history, and skyrocketing costs for Americans who rely on the Affordable Care Act, putting those plans out of reach. And what happens when millions of Americans lose their health coverage? Well, often they go without care. In many cases, people will die. But people who don't have coverage, they don't never get care. They just get care when they're sicker, and the care is more expensive. And because it is uncovered, the hospitals pass the cost on to everyone else. And when you remove $1 trillion from the American healthcare system, hospitals, federally qualified health centers that are already cash-strapped, particularly in urban and rural communities, they're forced to close, leaving all of the communities that rely on them for care having to drive longer, having to take more time off work, having to wait longer to get the care that they need. We are already starting to live under Trump care. Millions of Americans losing coverage, tens of thousands losing their lives, and everyone else having to pay more and wait longer to get the care that they need. The bomb is going off in the middle of the American healthcare system right now. And that is why Congress cannot afford to wait to address this healthcare cost crisis. It's why House Democrats and Senate Democrats are holding the line in saying, we will work with Republicans to keep this government open, to guarantee that the rule of law prevails, and to address this healthcare crisis. But Republicans, in their shameful and cowardly actions, are nowhere to be seen here. It is shameful. It is shameful. But we also know it's intentional. Because we know that the fuel of Trumpism is the same thing that has fueled authoritarianism across the world. And that is when people are hungry and out of a job, when they're struggling, when they're sick, when they're desperate. That is what fuels Donald Trump. That is what fuels the MAGA movement. And so we are here because lives are on the line. We are here because we want to save and protect healthcare. And we are here because we recognize that if we do not solve this healthcare crisis, it feeds right into Donald Trump's hand. It helps him consolidate power. It helps him continue to fearmonger and scapegoat. And we are here to provide a different future. A future where every single person can get the care that they need. A future where everyone can take care of themselves and their family without having to break the bank. A future where every single working person is able to live and thrive in America. That is the future we will build together. That is the future we fight for. And whether you voted for us in the last election or you didn't, we are here for you, and you are welcome to our cause. Thank you all very much.
Good evening. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak regarding our health care. My name is Sparkle Edwards. I am a home care worker from the state of Virginia.